Well, joining us now is France 24's international reporter Cyril Payen. Cyril, you lived in Burma, Myanmar for many years, and so following this perhaps closely, more closely than
Indeed.
many. Start with these protests, maybe. Like, we're still seeing very huge numbers on the streets,
Which is very impressive regarding the level of people in charge. You have a military, a huge force with a huge weaponry. We're talking about a 400,000 strong army, and in front you have young people, but many generations on all fields on Monday, which was something very amazingly followed in all the country, with the enterprises, shops closed, millions of people flocked into the street. It didn't stop. There have been 3 weeks now since the junta took the power, and these people with no weapons are just standing and appealing for the international community to move in, which is not really delivering. But they really understand that they have been stolen this momentum of democracy that they had for a few years since 2011, and even they are 17 years old. We understand that they did understand themselves that if they don't take the chance now, it will be gone forever.
Okay, so a largely youth-driven movement there. Of course, they're anti, this military junta that was angry really over the election results last November when the party of Aung San Suu Kyi won by a landslide. I mean, we're now hearing that a parallel democracy is being formed. Tell us
This
more.
is the CRPH, and this is extremely difficult because it's an underground movement which is starting, which is dominated by National League for Democracy MPs, elected MPs. Some of them have been in jail, for instance, for years. Though these are veterans of the fights for democracy, and dozens of them have been reunited under this committee, which is namely the CRPH, and they're trying to move on domestically on the social networks. We can see a lot of announcements, statements in the nationwide, but they also starting to move internationally to put pressure. For instance, on Monday, they did elect Dr. Sasa, which is a very renowned intellectual in Burma, Myanmar, to be their representative, their parallel or alternative representative at the United Nations, to pressure the United Nations. So they move on. The problem, sadly, is no news story, because in the 1990s, when Aung San Suu Kyi was under house arrest, it did happen already. They were a government in exile. So the problem, are we doing the same scenario? Not very much so, because now the difference is the social networks. When they have internet, these youngsters, these people in the street are sending footages, videos and pictures all over the world. The problem is the internet is cut for 1 week now every night. But when they have the chance, they take the window of opportunity. So there is these two scenarios who makes a big difference, which with let's say 10 years ago. And this is how maybe the military in some point miscalculated.
Yeah, really feeling pressure, or the protesters putting pressure on a variety of different levels. Cyril, what do you make that we heard that Myanmar's foreign minister has arrived in Thailand for diplomatic talks? We had heard that the Indonesian foreign minister was also headed there, having cancelled a trip to Myanmar.
Well, we can wonder what kind of advices a military government can ask to another military government in Bangkok, because I think the protesters they know very well, because they are protesting now in front of the Indonesian embassy in Rangoon, in Yangon, saying ASEAN, as the Southeast Asia Association, would not interfere. This is one of the key principles, so they don't expect much from Thailand. Indonesia is maybe a new democracy, but it's very alone in this 10 nations association. So they really want to have a wider international pressure. Maybe they are just focusing on the new Biden administration in America, maybe the EU, let's say, or Australia, why not? But it's getting very slow. It has been 3 weeks now since the coup, and nothing very much internationally has been done, except some goodwills and talks and speeches.
Cyril Payen, thanks a lot for bringing us your analysis of that situation.